for joining us here at the Amplified Network. Your show will begin in just a few minutes, but first I want to go on ahead and shout out to our awesome sponsors. First, we have the Mouse Merch Box. It is an official Disney subscription box. It is $60 quarterly if you subscribe, or $70 per box. It's going to come with $120 to $150 worth of exclusive Disney apparel and merchandise, so definitely check that out. If you do decide that you want to check them out, we do have a coupon code for you. Coupon code is going to be Springs20 for 20% off of your order. Next, we have the Great Adventure Supply Company. Great Adventure Supply Company is really cool. They have a bunch of 80s and 90s themed pop culture themed Disney and theme park apparel. So if you're like me, you miss the 90s, you love that style. They recently released some new exciting additions to their store. Be sure to check them out. And we also have a coupon code for the Great Adventure Supply Company that's going to be Magic15 for 15% off of your order. So thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate you and our sponsors. So stay tuned here on the Amplified Network. Your show will be coming up soon.
What's up, everyone? How are we doing today? My name is Amp, and my buddy T-Dubs is right here with me. What's up, T-Dubs?
Yo, what's going on? Welcome in. 60-minute suspension, man. I'm so stoked to be here. I'm excited, dude, because we got some stuff that I actually do on a daily basis, that I participate in on a daily basis. So I'm excited to talk about that first and foremost. Yeah. And then we have hot topics on the other things. So 60-minute suspension, as usual, like I said, rolls off the tongue. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling much better. Last week, I was fighting the flu. It was a summer flu thing. I'm not really sure what was going on, but it felt awful. But this week, feeling good. I'm still kind of fighting it, still trying to get in and out of my system. You can kind of hear it a little bit. But it's not going to stop me today because we got some good stories for you folks, and we are stoked to share them. So, Tyler, are you ready?
I am ready. Let's get into it, bro.
So, first on the docket today, and I know we didn't title it on the title screen today because, I don't know, I just felt like, we usually go really heavy with the title names. This time I wanted to go a little bit easier, but nonetheless, I still wanted to do a pretty heavy story, and I feel like this one is definitely one that you should know about as fans of sports or any type of thing like that. And then even jumping into kind of like a political slash almost like a social realm, a civil rights, gender equality type thing. What I'm trying to get into is the U.S. women's national soccer team won the World Cup. Awesome. That was cool. Tyler, did you get to watch any of it?
I did. I did get to watch it. I didn't get to watch. Yeah, actually, I did. I watched the World Cup. It was pretty chill, relaxed. It was like you knew exactly what was going to happen because, honestly, we knew exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah.
The girls kicked butt. They did it in a nice, dominating fashion, even though it wasn't like it was 2-0, I think was the final score, but it was still a clear cut, U.S. won that game and outplayed them. So, I got to watch most of the World Cup. Most of the games, and it was great. It was awesome.
It was an intense match. If you didn't get to watch it, make sure you go back and at least see the highlights because the girls got 2 goals in that game. I believe it was Megan. I think Megan was the one who hit the PK. Yeah, now that I remember, Megan was definitely the one who hit the PK. And then the one midfielder, I forget her name, she scored this really nice shot. I want to say she was...
She's the youngest girl, at least on the field. I think she was only 18 or 19 years old.
Yeah.
I forgot her name as well. But of course,
she got it in.
Good things to come for the U.S. Yeah, she nailed it, dude. She got in the game, and when she got in the game, I remember somebody next to me saying, "Oh, that's the youngest girl." I forgot what they said. It's in the World Cup or in the game.
I want to say it's like Mila or Mackenzie or something like that. So I don't know.
She killed it. Cool. She killed it though. She got in the game, got in the World Cup, and nailed it, man.
So that's freaking awesome. Alex Morgan tried to get a couple of headers, a couple of shots in, but honestly, the Netherlands played really strong, man. Like they were a strong defensive team, and they gave the women a great battle, basically. So it was cool, man. But anyways, so yes, the women won the World Cup. They are your world champions. So cool. United States is four-time. And four-time. I'm gonna do the spin-a-rooney next. But yeah, one more time. Four-time.
You're gonna love watching that again. So, make sure you rewatch that video. Don't listen to this on audio, everybody. Rewatch this video.
We're on YouTube. Make sure you check us out. No.
If Amp doesn't spin a Rudy at the end of this broadcast, then highest ratings, gotta be.
And gotta. So they went on and they did awesome things. So they're your world champs. The United States are actually world champs at something. That's cool. So continuing on to what the topic I want to talk about. If you don't know, or maybe you're just not as interested in this topic, I think it's really important to talk about the entire U.S. women's national team. I'm talking about the bench players all the way up to the starting lineup, which is Alex Morgan is probably their biggest star. All 28 of them have filed a lawsuit against the U.S. Soccer Federation for unequal pay. So, they're basically trying to sue to get the same amount of money that the men's team is getting. Their argument being that, they're 4-time world champs. 4-time! And they're 4-time world champs, and basically they're saying they're the most popular team in the United States is basically their argument. They go in and they talk about a couple other things, their sponsorships, their revenues, but mostly because they win is their biggest argument, and that they should be paid more. Now, in reality, yes, I agree. They should be paid equally. Like, on surface face value, when I look at this and I don't look into the statistics and all that stuff, I am 100% behind them. I'm like, yes, give them equal pay. Yes, absolutely. Why would anyone argue against that? No one would ever argue against that, especially now in 2019. But I wanted to know more. I am not one of those people who just take things as face value. I dive a little bit deeper, and I want to give you folks, your chance to pick this argument, educationally. I did a lot of research on this because I really wanted to give you guys, an honest opinion where I'm not just I don't know, just saying shit on my ass. I really wanted to give you an honest, this is how the facts are. So, diving into this concept, and I'm not just going to stop at the women's world soccer national team. I'm going to talk about the WNBA. I mean, even the tennis players, all the way to the hockey teams. There's so many women's sports out there. So probably right now the most popular one is the women's national soccer team. So to give you context of how much they actually make. So the women produced in this last year in France, they produced, I want to say, let me make sure I have my numbers right. They produced, let me find it. I can tell you what the men produced for sure, but I want to make sure I say the women's right. I don't want to say anything wrong. Here we go. The men in 2000. Let me make sure I get that right because I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Are you talking about the percentage of what they earned, or the whole overall?
I'm talking about the whole overall, what they brought in. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. All right. So basically, at the end of the year, you have to. So FIFA gives you a payout. So it gives every national team a payout if you win. So for the women's division, soccer division or whatever, the only people that make money is the winner. Only the women make the money, or the winner actually get money from it. So the total prize money for the Women's World Cup in 2019 is $30 million. Yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's not the only money. That's actually split evenly, or not evenly. It's split where you rank. Sorry. So the $30 million, as you rank up, but the women won $4 million from that $30 million. Okay. So to give you context of that situation, that's how that worked out. Now FIFA is different from the USSF, the U.S. Soccer Federation. Okay, those are two different entities. The U.S. only work off what FIFA gives them from their overall net, or whatever FIFA gives the U.S. as, hey, here's your prize money, here's your money from, TV or sponsors or whatever that FIFA earned from you guys. Here's your portion. So FIFA gets an overall pool that they divide amongst the countries. So FIFA is not in on the lawsuit, nor can they be, because this is not a FIFA situation. This is a USSF situation. It sounds Russian when you say it like that. USSF. So anyways, the USSF actually won $4 million. Now, even though the women were a part of that and won that for the United States, the women will take home that $4 million. It will be split amongst the roster itself. And so in 2018, the Men's World Cup, the champions won $38 million. And from a total pool, okay, wow. So the champions won $38 million from a total pool of about $400 million. So the concept being that the champions themselves won $38 million total from the $400 million pool. Now, that's FIFA, to give you context again. That's FIFA. So the Men's World Cup earned $400 million in revenue. That's just the World Cup alone, and that was a FIFA standard. So I'm trying to explain that concept because the champions won $38 million out of a $400 million pool. That means that $400 million was divided amongst all the other male teams in the World Cup. Now, take that in comparison to the Women's World Cup, where there was only $30 million in a pool, and only $4 million was given to the champions, which was the Women's World Cup. I don't know if that helps or gives you context of where I'm going with this, but basically, the pools are much different. There's another thing that I want to get here too. The Women's World National Team actually gets salary. So if you make the roster,
right,
you actually get a salary. So you are getting paid to play these games. So if you make the team, if you're on the roster, on the bench, doesn't matter. You get a base salary on them.
As you make that point, I'd also like to say FIFA and World Cup does not pay that salary.
Right. That's the USSF.
That is a USSF, like you just said, yeah. So that is not a FIFA World Cup. They get that money is that salary money does not come from the World Cup money. But yeah, I just wanted to make that point because I was reading along a minute ago that there are 25% is from like ticketing sales, so like gates and like how many people walk through the gate is 25% of the revenue is to that. Another part is broadcasting, although that's hard to be compared to the men's because apparently they're bundled together with broadcasting as a U.S. like bundle, not just like male and female. They're bundled together in that broadcasting revenue. So those are just small points I wanted to make as you were making that point about how they're on salary.
Yeah, so they're on salary. The women also get a bonus and like play bonuses, sponsors, stuff like that. That's all money that they can earn with that, along with the games that they play. Now, for the men's side, they have no salary. Like starter, non-starter, you get no salary. Then the men have no salary whatsoever. Where they make their money is game played. So they actually have to play. They have to step on the field. Like, we're not talking about being on the bench. You literally have to step on the field, be subbed in, some type of way where they actually make money in that sense. So the men will make money off that. Then they make money off bonuses and then sponsors and stuff like that. So to give you context,
that's pretty fucking competitive.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking competitive.
Yeah, it's
like to get on the field to get your money, man. That's damn.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's really cutthroat on the men's side because basically you have to be good enough to play on the national scale, and then hopefully you're good enough to get even a sponsor or anything like that. It's really tough. So yes, the men don't actually make a salary. They actually only make bonus pay, game time pay, and then whatever else they make off of sponsors and whatnot. So with that being said, the sponsors on the male side is much higher, much higher. Plus the TV money that they make off ESPN and stuff like that, much higher, obviously. So stuff like that. So that's why the men, in some cases, seem like they make more than the women because there is a higher threshold for that. But in reality, like, we're talking about the megastars, and to be fair, their argument, the women's argument in their lawsuit is talking about playmakers. So their baseline for their argument is that their playmaker makes less than the male playmaker. So that's where their main argument is, right? So, but in reality, the whole roster of the women versus the men's side, the women technically make more money than the men's roster side, if that makes sense. So there isn't quite as unequal as they're stating,
and that's in the USSF.
Yes, that's in the USSF.
Is what, and they make as a team more money than the men as a team.
Now,
but individually they can make more money through sponsors and bonuses and stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So they made a new agreement. The women made a new collective bargaining agreement back in April 2017. They used a 20-game scenario. That's basically the concept of like saying if the men played 20-game scenario, the women played the equal amount of games scenario. And they calculated that the player on the women's team would earn $28,333 less, or about 89% of the compensation of a simulated men's team player. Okay, keep in context, I'm saying player, not the whole team, just the player. Okay, So if both teams lost all 20 games, the players would make the same amount. That's because the men earn a $5,000 bonus when they lose, and the women have a $100,000 base salary. So, again, keeping in context that the whole women's team, if you're on the roster, you get a salary. On the men's team, you don't get any salary, and you only make money if you play. So keep that all in context when we're talking about this. Also, under the new collective bargaining agreement back in 2017, the players can also earn attendance bonuses, payment for commercial appearances, and per diems that are equal and tied to what the men can earn. Interesting facts there that you don't hear about in the lawsuit. Very interesting stuff. So I also want to talk about this. We were talking about the FIFA pool, right? So the FIFA, they give you, they divvy up a pool of how much you make and how much the actual organization makes out of the whole concept, and then they divvy it among the players, or among the countries, and then those countries decide on how they divvy it up among the players. Now, when we talk about this, I want to be very sensitive to people, okay? So I'm not trying to downplay what women are doing. I'm not trying to say that they're wrong and trying to pursue this concept of equal pay. There's definitely situations where I think that women should be paid equally, but we also have to look at the grand scheme of the whole picture. When I told you that FIFA made $400 million, they had a $400 million pool to pick from and give to other countries compared to the women's only 30 million pool. That's huge. That's a massive situation. So very interesting stuff.
That's cool. Yeah.
Female soccer players can earn a small bonus in the World Cup, $15,000, and then a male player can earn $55,000. The U.S. Soccer Federation awarded the men a $5.4 million bonus after losing in round 16 of 2014 World Cup, and awarded the women's team $1.7 million when it won the entire World Cup in 2015. Again, you got to remember the context of the pool. So if the pool is only $30 million to pick from, and they can only give you what the pool size is, if that makes sense.
Right. Right.
That was back in 2015. Now, I'm saying these numbers because these are the arguments that the women are using to make, an argument for, the unequal pay amongst genders. Another reason I want to bring this up. Basically, yeah. So this is crazy. So, like I was telling you, the France in July or this past World Cup, there was a $30 million pool to pick from. In 2022, the World Cup in Qatar, there will be a $440 million pool. That's a $40 million increase. That's more money than what the women's division made, like this past World Cup.
Total.
It's incredible. So,
right.
The reason I keep saying this is I just want to stress how important that the USSF can only use the money that is given to them from the FIFA organization. So their argument and where they're pushing this I don't know, this anger that they have for unequal pay shouldn't be driven towards the USSF.
It should be I think it should be towards the USSF and not towards FIFA. I think they should not worry about the World Cup, honestly. I think they should get paid equally in other ways, but and I mean they should get paid equally in everything, obviously, but as far as the World Cup goes, you cannot sit here and say you want equal pay when you contribute $30 million compared to 400 million. That's just two different worlds. That's just not even the same thing. In the U.S., however, I think the women have a case to really go after something. I don't know how they're going to get this settled, but they are the clear-cut popular team in this country. It's been clear that they have outgrossed the men in the country by I think by like 4 million last year. Like from 2016 to 2018, women's games generated 50.8 million in revenue compared to 49.9 million for the men. I mean, that's not crazily, outgoing them, but like that's a big deal. That's that's here domestic. I think they need to focus their thing more domestically, focus their aim more domestically, because I think they have it. I think they have something here in the U.S. because they sell more apparel. They sell more tickets. Their broadcast, I think, has more of a more viewership than the men. It's, to me, I think they have a case in the U.S. I don't think they need to aim at FIFA. And really, as shitty as FIFA normally is as an organization, because we always talk about how shitty FIFA is.
So,
but I think they need. I don't know where they need to aim it towards, but somewhere here within, it just needs to be more of a domestic thing. Because it's not going to. What they do here in the U.S. doesn't affect the entire world. You can't change the entire pie of the World Cup. Everybody has to agree to that. I mean, that'd be cool if everybody did. But then how do you do it? Do you take away from the men's just automatically? Is it like a tax? A big like $100 million tax? $200 million tax? Is that what it's?
So
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
No, I totally understand what you're saying.
There are other opportunities for women to have rights to earn money domestically, and we'll get into that maybe after you make this point here.
So yeah, I wanted to. Yes, you were right on a lot of those. On a lot of those, like focusing it more on the domestic part. But to clarify, though, so the World Cup in Russia, which happened last year, that was the men's World Cup. It revenued $6 billion. $6 billion total it revenued. Okay, the participating teams from that only was given $400 million of that full $6 billion pool. That is 7% of the overall percentage of that revenue. Okay, so all the teams only shared 7% of that revenue. Now, this past World Cup, the overall revenue from it for the women's was $131 million. Okay, $131 million. So that means that the overall pool that was given to them was $30 million, which is
I think it was like 20%. I thought it was like 13.
So
it's 20%,
and then those two pay gaps. It's a little uneven if you break it down to percentages.
Right.
So.
Right, I agree.
So it's like, as a USSF federation, now you were given the percentage of that. So the 400 million, the men didn't even make it, so they didn't even get a percentage of that. They didn't even get any money from that. So then the women got the percentage off the 30 million, which was the 1 point whatever I told you million. I think it was 1.4 million that they got from the 30 million for being the winners. So what I'm trying to get to is I understand where the percentage lies, but I want to bring it around and kind of. So here's another statistic I wanted to give you guys. We're talking about women's sports and stuff. So the WNBA, Tyler, do you want to guess how much they made in revenue this past year?
No, I don't really want to. I don't.
$60 million.
I'm good with numbers with that.
So they made $60 million for the fiscal year. That means that an average salary for 137 players, the average salary was $77,878, which also it breaks down to, I want to say it was 20% of the full revenue. So it was 20, or I want to make sure I get that right when I say that. It was 22. So it's 22% of that maximum value. So, yeah, that's pretty low. The NBA,
dude, that's such a grind of a life for $77,000.
So the men's. So keeping in context for the whole pot, right? The whole pie. The NBA, out of the 32 teams, generated $7.4 billion last season. That's up 25% from 2017. Okay, the average NBA franchise is now worth a record $1.65 billion, up to 22% over the last year. In context, most men's contracts, or pretty much the average player's contract, is 49 to 51% of the league's revenue. 49 to 51% of the league revenue goes to male contracts versus the women's, who only get about between 22 and 25% of the total revenue. Now,
okay, so that's definitely off.
So I want to raise this to you because you're the only other person here. The WNBA only made $16 million. Everyone knows you got to spend money to make money.
I thought you said 60. I thought you said 60.
Yeah, I said 60. $60 million. $60 million. They only made that. And then the NBA, on the other hand, made $7.4 billion. Now, revenue obviously comes from sponsorships, ticket sales, merchandise, toys, endorsement deals, whatever you want to call it. And then, so, I mean, that total revenue came from all of that versus the women who, same concept. They're trying to do the same thing, but it's only getting $60 million. What I'm trying to get to is this pool of money comes from the majority of a source, which is the fans. So I understand where a lot of the argument or the frustration is for women's sports, and they're attacking the leagues. They're attacking, the higher-ups, the people who are wearing the suits. But they should be upset with the fans, right? Because they're the ones
I agree.
Bills, and I don't see any tweets. I don't see any tweets from any women's player saying, "Yo, where are our fans?" Like, take a picture of the fans and be like, "Yo, where you at?" Like, you're over here wanting to support us. Yeah. With support.
I've been preaching this for I don't know, since I looked up what the separation between how many males there are in the United States and how many female in the population. It's like 50-50 pretty much, 50.9 female to 49.1 male, and it's ridiculous that all of this is dependent on nobody. I said earlier, but I know this isn't a fact, but I think more men watch women's sports than women watch women's sports. That's probably that's not a factual thing. That's an opinionated thing. But like I said it to somebody earlier, and we were like, yeah, I mean, probably. But I think, it would be cool to see women completely all in for their girls. And I think that'd be a cool thing to just see see a whole new uprising happen. Not uprising, but a whole new support happen from a place that hasn't come before.
I agree with that, and I want to add more. Even for the men who stand up and fight for women's sports and stuff like that, and they feel like I gotta prove or show my support, but you're not. It's showing by the numbers. Where is that support? And Tyler, before we actually went live or whatever, we had a conversation about maybe giving the girls prime time, giving them a little love and giving them some prime time stuff. And the only argument I can think of is, like you were saying just a minute ago, is where is the support? People aren't going to take that risk and just put stuff out there assuming that people will watch. They need the numbers to back up, that type of jump.
Well, yeah. And I think, like we were talking about before the show, when I said the prime time, when they can do prime time stuff, I think that's more on the networks, and I think that's where people should focus their life, because a lot of money, or people should focus this whole thing is that broadcasting and networks, because that's where money is made. It's not made in ticket sales. It is not made in Coke sales. Or it's not made in jersey sales. It's made by viewership to the TV. You don't make money by people coming to your game. The fans cannot be there, and you can still make a shit ton of money. You just have to have people watch. Now, to get people to watch, the games can't be on Saturday at 12 p.m. or 1 p.m.
Yeah.
The games have to be Saturday night. They have to be Sunday night. They have to be prime time. They have to take over sometimes some other sports have to give way to a women's soccer match, which it's not like the game's not sold out. It's not like it's going to be a crazy environment. You know what I mean? It'll be heated. It'll be fun. It'll be live. It'll be electric, and it'll be cool to see. But until that happens, and once that happens, women won't see an increase in money in the United States.
Yeah, I mean,
I
think that was the whole point I was trying to get to, and the point I was coming across. And listen, there is an evolution in women's sports. Like, obviously, I mean, it's becoming more popular, and it is becoming more. I mean, I'm going to be really blunt with this one. It's becoming more acceptable to watch women's sports. Like, back in the early 1990s, and like, I mean, when we were little kids, like, everyone kind of made fun of women playing sports, and said, like, what are you doing?
Right.
Why aren't you wearing a dress? And literally in the past 2 decades, we have completely eliminated that, and now they're on the rise to try and increase, to show the popularity, show their athleticism. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that women athletes can do that male athletes can't. And, I mean, they're smarter than male athletes. They're more creative. I mean, watching the Women's World Cup is so much different from watching the Men's World Cup. Like, the Men's World Cup is so structured, and it's very robotic. There's already set formations and set pieces. Women's World Cup is more freestyle, and I love it, man, because you'll see these girls just do these incredible passes in the air. Some of these, like, you'll probably see more bicycle shots taken, more headers, a lot of air balls to girls that are just, like, going for it, and it's so fun to watch. And it comes down to the fans.
And to your, and to your point a minute ago about how, and women's sports in general it's a young concept. It's like you said it a minute ago. Like, it has just been accepted that women can compete. How long has Title IX been around? That's like the NCAA ruling that says for every male
scholarship,
sports scholarship or sport or whatnot, you need a female scholarship or sport or whatnot. How long has that been around? That hasn't been around that long. Right. It's not. It's so. This is all young, and honestly, women have not had many opportunities to really dig into sports. Like, it hasn't been accepted, allowed, or like pursued, or pushed thing for girls. Just like you were saying, like, oh, why aren't you wearing your dress, or why aren't you doing this, or why aren't you doing that? That's been our culture as of late. As of recently. So I guess maybe it might just take time. Maybe it might just take time for all this to catch up.
That's probably one of the best sentences we could say about the situation is, like, it will take time, and I know that we want to blame the USSF for, the pay gap, but I know that you're saying we can't blame FIFA, but I have to, man, because FIFA, the women's division is still very, very young on the FIFA side of things, like, incredibly young,
right?
Compared to the
1980s was the first, like, World Cup for women.
Exactly. So I mean, we're talking about a very, very young concept for women's sports in FIFA, and you want to talk about why that pool is so low? There's so many countries that don't even allow women to play sports. There's so many countries where they're like, no, you have to wear this, attire over your head in order to play. I'm like, it's like 100 degrees out there. Those women are not going to play at the World Cup with, attire over their head. It's ridiculous.
I don't know if Iraq or Iran have a team, but I don't think I've ever seen a women's Iraq or Iran team. I've seen them in the World Cup.
I think they do. I don't think they're very good, but I do think they have one now. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, from a FIFA standpoint, you have to look at it from a global standpoint that this pool is so large because globally, male soccer is just such a big phenomenon, and women's soccer is such a new concept that the revenue is going to be smaller for the women's side. And then when you compare it to how fast that the U.S. is evolving for gender equality, how fast it's just growing for gender equality compared to the rest of the world, compared to, Iraq and all these other places that just keep putting women down, it's not fair to put all the blame on the USSF. at the end of the day. Because, I mean, realistically, you're basically telling the women, like, yes. And the thing is that the U.S. women, I love you too, buddy. The U.S. women get a lot of recognition. They get tons of recognition for all of their accomplishments. Maybe not financially, but as a country, as, you know, as people who love soccer, we give them tons of credit and tons of love. And in my mind right now, I just think that the women's national soccer team is kind of directing their anger in the wrong direction. And I do think that they should call out the fans. I think they should call out the fans more. And not just the national women's team, like the WNBA, the women's tennis. You know, the highest paid women's tennis players are Venus and Serena, and that's because they've been around for years and years and years. They've earned their spot, you know? For the new ones coming in, like, you know, the 13 or 14-year-old girl, you know, the only reason she's getting... Coco, she's getting tons of love because she's so young. What about all those tennis players in the middle, you know, that are still ranked like 4, 5, 6, you know?
They're not Coco. So. They're not. Who cares if they're not Coco?
Being like, women should call out fans. Like, that was the whole point of all of this. It was to call out fans, call out people, be like, yo, where is the love? Because if you give us more love, we'll make more money, and if we make more money, we will play better. Like, we will fight harder.
And the sport will grow. The sport will grow. More girls will play soccer. More girls will play softball. More girls will play flag football. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, not that there's a flag football team, but I mean, they could play men's football, or they could play football, not men's football. Anyways,
we butchered that enough.
Yeah.
If you guys have any more input, just throw it in or send us a tweet. We have Twitter. We have a Twitter. But anyways, T-Dubs, talk to us about the NBA.
Yeah. Let's talk about the NBA. So we are down with the superstar super team. We're down. We're done. We're over.
It's done?
Finished.
Finito?
We don't want them anymore. We're finito. Now we're going to go with a balanced NBA. Let's figure out who the best player really is in the NBA. So the balance in the NBA right now is really, really a cool thing, because the superstar team, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're done with it too.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it for the highlights, but I had its run. Now I'm ready to see who the best player in the NBA is. And I think Kawhi has a good chance at claiming that. But boy, we have some competition. So over this little segment here, we're going to talk about the balance of the NBA, and I think we have pretty much 2 players for 10 to 12 teams, and I'm probably going to miss some. But I just want to talk about how each team has almost like one superstar plus another good player, or even in the case, 2 superstars, which still doesn't make a super team, but just makes that team very talented. So, number one, I got to go with Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers, and Paul George and the Clippers.
That's going to be fun.
The 2 of them together, they teamed up. Kawhi made a deal, and then like hours later, you saw Paul George get traded to the Clippers. I thought it was like superstar shocking. It was the NBA offseason has been. I don't know if you followed it much, but it's been hot. It's been like every day something's happened, and then there's been like 5 days of nothing happening, and then all of a sudden big trade. So if you haven't followed it, stay on top of it. The next 2, I would say, would probably be the newly paired Russell Westbrook and James Harden of the Rockets.
All right.
It's a dangerous combination, but it's dangerous in 2 ways. They can either A, fight over the ball almost the entire time, or B, just pass the ball back and forth and one of them scores on every single play. I think either of that happening is pretty likely. They're either going to fight over it or they're just going to score every play, and they're going to be like best friends. I don't know. They say they're excited to play with each other, but I don't know if they really, really are. So I feel like the front office just kind of mashed this together without really even thinking it through. What do you think about those 2 being together?
I don't know much about him. I know
the beard, James Harden.
I know James Harden's a really good player.
Yeah, he's like a triple-double machine. Well, Russell Westbrook is a triple-double machine. James Harden is a points freak. He scores a lot of points
for a point guard.
Yes.
Right?
Well, I mean, I think he's a shooting guard.
Shooting guard.
Yeah, I think Russell Westbrook is a point guard. So he runs point. He ran. I mean, he ran a little bit of point this year. But then he had Chris Paul with him, so Chris Paul ran a lot of point as well. So
yeah, they're. I don't know basketball, so
okay.
I just know
okay.
And James Harden. I know James Harden's good though.
James Harden's pretty good. So, so we'll go on. My number 3 matchup would be Anthony Davis and LeBron James.
Number 3. You're talking about the King?
Number 3, and also they just signed. Who did they just sign? I forgot who they just signed. Anyways, the two, them together is just going to be something special. I see a lot of lobs from LeBron James to Anthony Davis, and I don't think anybody's going to be able to stop it. So that's going to be my number 3 matchup. My number 4 matchup, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. This one's a long-term matchup. I like this better than the Kyrie Irving LeBron James matchup in Cleveland. I think that they're going to get along better. I think they're both kind of humble dudes. I think they both got something to prove right now. KD wants to win something without Steph and Clay and Draymond, and Kyrie also wants to do the same thing without LeBron, but he knows he needs more help than Hayward. So this is a good matchup here in New York City, Brooklyn Nets. Two-year plan before you actually really see some damage from that duo. The Bucks. Anybody with Giannis Antetokounmpo and anybody with him is going to be good. But you got him scoring all the time, and then you also have Chris Middleton playing some crazy defense. So that's always a good setup. As always, Splash Bros. Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
I think that just speaks for themselves. You can honestly throw them anywhere you want, and they could probably win an NBA title. It's just crazy. That's our number 5 team, and you're like, oh yeah, they can easily win the NBA title. I like this combination of Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons just got a max contract, so that's good. He's there for a little bit. The two of them paired together is going to be good. And I think they also just got Al Horford, if I'm not mistaken. He's not a superstar. It doesn't make him a superstar team, but Al Horford is definitely like Mr. Fundamental of like the 2020s, the 20 teens, all of it. This other team I like is the Nuggets. Jokic is going to be a MVP player. I mean, this guy is Shaq-like, dude. He's so good. So pair him with anybody. Basically, pretty much I'd pair him with Jamal Murray, and that's a pretty good 2 combination. So as you can see, and Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert together in Utah at the Jazz is a good pair. It's all over the league. So look out for a really exciting season when it comes to basketball this year. I really don't. I wouldn't bet. I don't do a lot of sports betting because I don't know how. It's just going to be early. But I know I bet with my friends. But if I was a betting man, I would not bet this season on the NBA unless I knew of some sort of insider like Russian election rigging or something like that. I wouldn't bet on this because honestly, anybody could win it. Anybody.
Yeah.
And it's coming down to be that. It's just going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. The NBA is going to get more than $7 billion this year probably because it's all new faces and all new places. It's awesome. It's awesome. So
yeah.
I pretty much ran that through so we could get to our next exciting topic. I'm pretty stoked for. So.
Sorry, man. I don't know the players specifically. Like I know names and stuff, and I know who's good and who's kind of good and stuff like that. I'm sorry, but I just don't know enough about like their skill sets and their styles. Do they mesh? Do they clash? Are they? I mean,
my heart's not broken or anything. You're all right.
But it was a good topic, man, because I'm surprised that King James and AD were not higher on your list.
Who else is paired with them right now? Somebody else went with them, honestly, and can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
Anyways, if I figured it out, me sure.
Paul George.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
I know those two are really good, and then I mean James. I I like James Harden as a person. He's really funny. Very funny guy. His commercials are great. His beard is immaculate. And
oh my god!
I know he's always in the NBA playoffs. Always, he's always in the NBA play, like always.
Oh, DeMarcus Cousins. That's who it is.
Ooh, DeMarcus
Cousins is with the Lakers now as well. So that's
him joining them too.
I didn't say you might have, but I didn't say anything tonight about him. He's definitely going to be a difference maker for them, and he also that might make him a super team if he starts to perform well and gets healthy because he's been not very healthy these last 2 or 3 seasons. If he starts to play well, then that's definitely a super team. So
yeah.
Of course, LeBron James threw together a super team. Typical.
Duh. The King Maya. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know. Space Jam up in this bitch right here in LA.
So, yeah, like you said, our next exciting topic for today, we do have the Madden rankings. They're in. The rankings.
Yeah, baby. I love this part of the year. I love this. Everybody gets so butthurt over Madden rankings.
I gotta ask you, because maybe you know, I don't know. When and why did they start doing this? When they dropped the ratings before the game? Why? Why do they even do this?
That's actually a good question. I really don't know. I mean, I know why they do it because it's become a thing between even the players. Like, there's player reaction.
Yeah.
So it's not even a fan thing anymore. It's like because the players play the game so much themselves that it's not even a fan thing anymore. It's more so like, what do the players think about themselves? So I don't know when they started doing this, where they drop it before the game comes out. I would probably have to say probably in the last maybe 3 years, if I had to guess. Maybe 3 or 4 years. But forever, as long as I know, I was always waiting for the game to come out, and then I would just see the players' thing, and we would talk about it at school or something. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I've always thought about that because I was like, man, why are they dropping them so early? You know, but I guess it's really good publicity because, you know, but it's Madden. Like, they don't even need it. Like, everyone just loves you.
Right.
Right. Okay, so let's jump into this. First, there's not a lot of 99 players. Okay, so I figure we should just knock out these 4 real quick. You have Aaron Donald. He is the defensive end for the Rams. Stud.
I think he's very, very deserving of that rating.
Stud. Absolute stud.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver for the Houston Texans.
To me, absolutely. Absolutely.
He is definitely up there, but the argument could be, did they fall short on a couple other receivers, which we'll get to here in a second.
Oh, God. To me, hands down, DeAndre Hopkins is the best receiver in the league.
Yeah.
At this point in life, fantasy-wise, skill-wise, whatever you want to say, I would say DeAndre Hopkins, number 1 overall. But we'll talk about the other receivers here in a second.
Your next one, Khalil Mack, absolutely, 100%.
I think so too. I think so too. And there was actually somebody talking about how his contract's not worth it, or it's a bad contract. And I was like, anything you pay this guy is a good contract.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't care. I don't care what we pay him. I want him on my team. And then this one, I was kind of interested in. I don't get me wrong, awesome player, great player, but 99 could be in question.
100%
Wagner.
100% with you. I don't agree to Bobby Wagner. There was even a point last year where teammates were calling him out. But I mean, I know because he was injured, but teammates were saying, "Hey, man, you should have not been on the field." But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, if you don't,
that's crazy because I would put Kuechly over Wagner.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. See, yep, we're about to get there. Yep, because I agree with you on that one. So Bobby Wagner, he finishes out that list. If you don't know who Bobby Wagner is, by the way, he's the middle linebacker for Seattle Seahawks. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's good. He's
a stud. He's an absolute stud.
But does his teammates make him look better is the question. Anyways, so I don't want to go too far on that one. So the other big list that you probably want to know is the quarterback list. Obviously, everyone really loves the quarterbacks, so we go into this. And this was an interesting list because it's very interesting. There's a lot of subtle hints here. I'm going to kind of fly through them because I know we're running low on time, but Patrick Mahomes tops out the list at 97. I agree with that. I think it's good. I don't know about you.
I agree with it. I think he's good. I think he's a top quarterback. I could put him at a 98, but I'm not going to bitch about it.
Yeah, really good player. Second, Tom Brady at 96. He's a little old now, right?
Yeah, I think the legendary status kind of carries the 96. Talent-wise, and with all his awareness and his accuracy, and I would probably put him at like a 92-ish, but 96, I guess, for the legend. What rating would you give him?
I know a lot of Patriots fans would hate me. You were really nice with the 91. I would put him at like an.
I said 90. I said 92, and I think he deserves it still.
I was gonna put him at an 89. I
can see it.
He has no mobility. He gets hit all the time. Just FYI. Like if you actually watch his games, he's getting knocked out all the time. He doesn't move out of that pocket ever.
You are correct. He's smart enough. He treats his own linemen very well. By the way.
Yeah. And
the quarterbacks are also interesting in these Madden ratings. I would say there's a big difference in some of the quarterbacks.
Let's keep going down the list because the next one on the list is very questionable because I'm going to skip a couple of these just to make this point. So your third on the list, Phillip Rivers, the aging wonder. He's at 94, but down at 90, they have Aaron Rodgers at 90. And to clarify, there's three other quarterbacks ahead of him before Phillip Rivers. So let me take lead on this one. What the F? Like, what? That was Aaron Rodgers not the third. Like, I'm sorry. I don't see how he's not third. Like...
Well, honestly though, I really hate playing Madden against Aaron Rodgers, and it's a lot of times it's been bullshit. So I don't agree with this rating, but I do agree that he should have been lower, and I'm happy to play him now. Whereas before I was like, God, man, I gotta play Rodgers. He's gonna make so many bullshit throws that's not even gonna make any sense, and it does. It's just like every throw is like that Aaron Rodgers to whatever that tight end's name was that he had, Cook. Yeah, Cook on his team. That won that game, and like it's just like that every time I play him. So I agree that he should be lower than that, but I don't think he's. I think he should be better than Phillip Rivers. I think he should be better than probably Tom Brady.
I think he should be better than Tom Brady. I really think he should be better than Tom Brady. Tom Brady at number 2 is a travesty, honestly. Just to kind of finish out that list, the middle three that I kind of skipped over, I think they're all right. Drew Brees is at 92. Yep. Andrew Luck 92.
I think
Russell Wilson 91.
I think the ratings should go Mahomes, Brees, Rodgers, Luck. In my opinion,
I can see that.
Top 4,
absolutely. And then Cam Newton near 84, which I think is right. And then Ben Roethlisberger at 85. Yeah, he hasn't been proven anything. Here's a couple of notable mentions since we're from Jacksonville. They got Nick Foles at 77. Ouch.
Yikes.
That's rough.
Yikes. That's hard, dude. Bortles was like an 80 last year.
That's a rough one.
Honest.
If you're a Trubisky fan, they showed no love to him. He's at 75. That's a little low for him, right? He's improving. I think he's definitely a starting quarterback.
I don't like him. No. I don't like him, dude. He keeps proving me wrong. He'll have like a 4-touchdown game, and then the next 3 games he'll have like 175 yards each game, and like no touchdown or like 4 total touchdowns, 2 rushing. And it's just I don't like him.
Right,
I don't like him. I don't think he's like...
I got to do this one justice because I actually really like this quarterback. I think he's good. Jared Goff at 83. I mean, that's kind of low. I think he's higher than that. I mean, you got Cam Newton, Big Ben, Matt Ryan. Oh, these 3 guys are above him? I don't think that's right. I think he's a little bit better than that.
There's been a lot of talk about Goff fitting perfectly in that system with McVay. And that's why Bortles has a chance there if anything goes down, because McVay thinks Bortles could be exactly what Goff is. So if you think Goff is good, I think you can think also Bortles is good if he gets in there and succeeds. I think Goff is. I think Goff has an accurate deep ball, but that's mainly because his accuracy is made by a lot of deep ball catches made by his talented wide receivers who create a lot of separation. Because they have speedy Brandon Cooks, they have Robert Woods. I think they have. Did they have Sammy Watkins?
No,
no, they did have Sammy Watkins. Yeah. But they just have a lot of speed. They have a ton of speed.
All right, so just stick with us here because we're going to kind of fly through the rest of these lists. And then, Tyler, I just want you to chime in where you feel like you don't think it adds up. So let's jump to the running backs real quick. So at the running backs, you got Todd Gurley at 97, and then kind of finishing out like the top 6, Zeke, Le'Veon Bell, who didn't play at all last year, just to clarify. He's at a 92. You got Melvin Gordon, the injury-prone, Saquon Barkley, and then Christian McCaffrey finishing it out at 91. Him and Barkley at 91.
I gotta say, I think Christian McCaffrey, I can understand how he's just at 91, but I bet he finishes the season as like a 95, 96 type player. He's going to be good. He's really good. He's crazy talented. He's a different kind of running back, and he's bulked up, I heard.
So I got to ask you this one, though. Alvin Kamara, probably one of the best backs in the league, and they only made him a 90. I mean, he had one hell of a year this past year. How do you feel about him at 90?
Yeah. I think Madden's thinking he kind of has to prove his rating to be a little bit higher, based off of him losing Mark Ingram, his running mate, which was actually very helpful for a player like Alvin Kamara. But Alvin, he really, honestly, he is a factor in the passing game, and that's where he makes a lot of his things. The thing that pisses me off is the Kareem Hunt being a 90. That kind of pisses me off. I don't think he's 90 material. He's pretty good, but he's not 90.
That's a tough one.
You know, that's the same as Alvin Kamara and whatever. And then Devontae Freeman being right there. Devontae Freeman is losing my. And first of all, it's frustrating to play Devontae Freeman on Madden 2019 because he's so fast and hard to tackle. And he was probably going to be similar in this year's, but I can't. I don't see him as 89. Anyways,
no, you're good.
Chris Carson in 87?
Chris Carson's at 87.
Oh, my God.
I don't know about that one.
God. Oh, my God.
Right, so here we go. Let's move on. Your top receivers, okay?
James White in 86? Oh, Dalvin Cook in 85? Where do you even... What? Oh, my
God.
Rough,
man. Don't keep looking. You're going to keep crying. Top 20. Okay, so...
81! Leonard Fournette for an 81?
Prone.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Yeah, he should be there. All right, so your wide receivers, right? And we were talking about DeAndre Hopkins being the best in the game right now. He's definitely deserving of the 99. But there's 3 names on this board that you want to kind of, make an argument for. Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, both tied at 98, and then OBJ, he's at 96. Tyler, talk to me, man. What do you think? Why not one, if not all 3, are 99?
Well, DeAndre Hopkins is going to be a clear-cut 99. He's got a talented quarterback who loves to feed him the ball, so he's going to be talented on Madden. He can catch. Honestly, he has the best hands in the league, better than OBJ. No joke, better than OBJ. And it'll be proven this season if it's not already proven. If you can't go back and watch highlights and just see the acrobatic catches he makes, and not that OBJ can't, and not that OBJ's bad at all, but I mean it's over. It's over as long as Watson can stay up and give him the ball. I guess it doesn't really matter because the ratings are already out. But 99, he deserves it. Antonio Brown, he's getting older. He lost his quarterback. He's in a different system. I can understand the dropping of rating. And I feel like Julio Jones forever and a day has always been 98.
Yeah.
And he's got to be. He's just going to be out of nowhere. He'll have like a 4-touchdown game, and it's just like, oh, Julio Jones. So you got to have that factor in Madden as well, and that's where it comes from. OBJ with 96, I think that's right where he's at. I'm kind of mad they really Jarvis Landry, they really shut him down. Like, they didn't give him a good rating. And I think he's rated better than a player like Alshon Jeffrey, and I don't even see Jarvis Landry almost at. I Jarvis Landry's below Cooper Kupp, Larry Fitzgerald, Deshaun Jackson, Golden Tate, Marvin Jones, Robert Wood. I mean, no, Juice is much better than that. So the two of them paired together is going to be tough for OBJ to get all the ratings, which is kind of how I feel with AJ Bouye and Jalen Ramsey.
Here's an interesting one I want to throw. Sorry, I know we're going to go over. We're probably going to go about 10 minutes over time because there's just so many good players I kind of want to cover. So, Tyler, there's one player that stands out to me that I don't know if he's at the perfect spot or not. Mike Thomas, 95. What do you think, man? Because he's a stud. Like,
he's a stud,
absolute stud.
I agree. If I was Madden, I'd put him 96 or 97. Honestly, above OBJ. Just honestly because of Breeze, and he's a stud, like you say. Mike Thomas is a stud. He's good.
Let's jump ship over to the tight ends real quick. You know, this is the first year there's no Gronk. This is the first year there's no Gronk. And so it's kind of opened up the field a little bit for tight ends, and there's going to be a couple names on here you probably have heard once in your life. All right, so Travis Kelce is going to start out the list at 96. Great choice. I think that's pretty obvious. Zach Ertz rounds it out. Again, another great one at 93. This is where it gets kind of shady, and Tyler, I'm going to need your help on this one. Delaney Walker, 92. George Kittle, 90. Greg Olsen drops a lot to 89, and Tyler Eifert, Mr. Injury Never Gonna Play, at an 88, and then Jordan Reed also at an 88. But then you have Trey Burton, Jared Cook, Eric Ebron, and Hunter Henry kind of rounding out the end of this. I mean, tight ends are tough in the NFL, I get it, but it's tough. What do you think?
Honestly, I agree with the Travis Kelce. I agree with the Zach Ertz. Delaney Walker, take a hike. You are good, bro, but 92? Never. George Kittle needs to be right. George Kittle needs to be a 92 right now. I'll take Delaney Walker down all the way and replace him all the way down below. I'll replace him with Eric Ebron, honestly. Eric Ebron needs to be up here with Delaney Walker. Below George Kittle. With a good quarterback, Eric Ebron could be the best tight end in the league.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And he has a good quarterback. And he has another tight end. There's weapons. He's got Jack Doyle, Eric Ebron, T.Y. Hilton, and then they have another receiver they got Paris Campbell, who they just drafted. So they got a talented, to say the least, he's not going to be double covered. And he's a great receiver. Greg Olsen, I can understand him taking the dip. I could even expect him to take a little more of a dip. Tyler Eifert as well, 88, too high. Jordan Reed, 88, too high. Trey Burton, 87, too high. Jordan Cook, 87, too high. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm kind of hard on the. I could put Evan Ingram up a little more. Mm-hmm. I'm a little hard on the tight ends right now. They're not impressing me too much.
There's no one.
The top three.
I mean, obviously, besides Kelce and Ertz. I mean, if you don't get these guys in fantasy football, one of those two, you might as well just give up.
Just don't draft the tight end until the last two rounds.
There's really no need to. I mean, let's be honest. Okay, let's move on down to the defensive line. There's a lot of talent. Listen, if you watch the NFL, you need to watch it and just watch the defensive and offensive lines. Just watch what they do, man. It is so crazy. And there's just so much talent at the defensive line position. I don't know about you, but a lot of these guys are underrated, in my opinion. I think a lot of them, there should be a lot more 90s on this list than there are. So let's kind of just knock them out of the way. Aaron Donald, J.J. Watt, Calais Campbell, obviously all of those are going to be in your 90s. Myles Garrett is at 91? Really?
Yeah, but you skipped over Snacks.
Who?
Oh wait, are you doing just ends?
I think it's just
right
ends. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm looking over the whole defense.
Oh, I don't even have defensive tackle on this list.
Okay, yeah, I got defense. I got right end, left end, and defensive tackle.
Man, yeah, I don't even have the defensive tackles. Yeah, these are just the ends. You got Telvin Smith. What is Telvin Smith doing on the? Oh, no, wait, that's the wrong list. Defense ends. There we go. Myles Garrett, Cameron Jordan, DeMarcus Lawrence is at an 89. He starts out the ends at 89. Brendan Graham, 89. Melvin Ingram, 88. Joey Bosa, 88. Mike Daniels, Trey Flowers, Justin Houston, wow, 87. And Akeem Hicks at an 87. Tyler, what are you thinking?
I'm definitely thinking Myles Garrett's too low. I'm definitely thinking DeMarcus Lawrence is too low. I'm definitely thinking Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram are just a bit too low.
Justin Houston, right?
DeForest Buckner, yeah, Justin Houston's too low. And who else? There was somebody else I thought. Daniil Hunter, I think, can be pushed up a little bit more. He's not a household name. That's probably why he's not catching a lot of bump on here, but I think he's definitely the guy there. And also, man, where Calais Campbell is pretty good where he's at, but what about Yannick?
Yeah.
You know? What about Yannick?
Easily in the high 80s.
He's 80, 84. Yeah. 84.
He's much higher than that.
No way. He should be not only should he be equal with, Madden's really missing out on this one. Because not only should he be equal with at least Bosa and Melvin Ingram, he should also have his own personal move in Madden. The dude has this Mario jump step. Amp, I'm telling you, you really have to pay attention to him. I'll send you some links to it. I watched it a couple times. He's got this Mario jump step that he does on defensive tackles, and it throws them for a fucking loop. And he just kind of he does this woo, and then he just lets him go by him, and then cuts in. And it's insane. Yeah. It's insane. And no defensive tackle and no offensive tackle has really stopped it yet. But that's a move that Madden could throw in based off of Yannick Ngakoue. But they're just they got these player rating scouts that don't do, they're bullshit.
They don't do it.
I don't think
they really don't scout anything.
How stupid do you have to feel being at training camp or being at OTAs or whatever, wearing your stupid little Madden player rating scout thing, knowing that you're the guy, your little small guy with your glasses and your hat and your whistle, and you don't even need a whistle, but you got it. But you're the player ratings guy, and all these other athletes are just looking at you like, really? You haven't set foot on the fucking field in your entire life. And you're here rating us. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. And they're wrong half the time.
Well,
they're wrong.
You're absolutely right. Ying I can't say his name. Yannick Ngakoue. Incredible player. If you ever watch the Jaguars this season, or if you're just not a Jags fan, you need to at least watch this player. He's a defensive end for the Jaguars, and he's not going to be rotating that much. I mean, he's going to be on the field pretty much all the time this season coming up. And, I mean, dude, stud. So much fun to watch. And just his passion on the field, it's awesome, man. Let's keep jumping around real quick because we're kind of running really long on time here. Outside linebackers, Khalil Mack, obviously 99. This is where it gets a little tricky because, again, tons of talent at the outside linebacker position. You got Von Miller, Jadeveon Clowney. Von Miller's 97, Jadeveon Clowney's a 92. Telvin Smith, 88, but this is where your scouting should really pay off right now. He's not playing right now, and we don't know if he's going to play next season. Great job, scouting team.
Yeah. I know. I think the thing is like he's still on the team. He's still technically on the roster. So they have to rate him like if the season were to start today, the Jags could technically reserve a spot for Telvin Smith if they had to suit up today and just play with 52 men and then hope that he just showed up or whatever halftime. Bobby Boucher did, you know. Remember when that time Telvin Smith showed up at halftime and the Jaguars won the Super Bowl?
No, I was eating lunch.
That was a good one.
I missed it. I was at the catering table. If you don't know that one, go back and watch the other episode. Ryan Kerrigan, 87. Leighton Vander Esch, 86.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's about where I would have him.
Davis, 85. Sean Lee, 84. Darius Leonard, 84.
Sean Lee needs to be down.
Yeah, I was about to say that was a little high for him. And then Cameron Wake, 84. So
Darius Leonard needs to be way up. He had an All-Pro season.
See, my list stops at like 20 or like 10, I think. So,
what do you mean?
Like, I only have like the top 10 list here. So, if you see someone below my top 10, Tyler, please keep telling them to go up.
Okay, well, I mean, below Sean Lee, I have Darius Leonard, who's the linebacker for the Colts. He is an 84. He should be way up. Cameron Wake, he's still producing, but he should be down.
He's a little.
They got him at 84. Zadarius Smith, that's surprising they have him only at 83. I would have him probably around 86.
Big said Cam Wake is 84 in age.
Exactly. He didn't get to the NFL till he's like 30-something. It's crazy. But they got T.J. Watt at 82, and I think T.J. Watt's better than that.
T.J. Watt's
not J.J. Watt. T.J. Watt,
his brother. Yeah, pretty good player, man. So, I would definitely put him in like probably a mid-80s situation. Let's go over the middle linebackers. There's a lot of talent here. If you haven't kept up with the NFL, middle linebackers are definitely there's a lot of them. Bobby Wagner, he's number 99, questionable. Luke Kuechly, 98. Let's maybe flip-flop those.
That's what I think
Vontae David down in Tampa, he's a 90. Huge.
So there's a big drop-off from Kuechly and Wagner to Levante David.
Huge. 90. Deion Jones is a 90. C.J. Mosley, an 87.
There's a little note about Deion Jones. He missed the entire season last year. I think first game he suffered a season-ending injury, like almost like first quarter or something like that.
Big Mig, Big Mig shouting out Wagner 99. Mig, tell me how you feel about that one, because we don't agree. We don't think he should be at 99. So Big Mig, let us know what you think. Finishing out this list, so C.J. Mosley 87, Jalen Smith 85, Avery Williamson 85. Ryan Shazier, Mr. 84.
Yes. 84.
Miles.
He plays on.
Yeah, Miles Jack's 83. And
I like that Miles Jack one because last year they had him at like a 78. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Miles Jack? Not 2019 at 78? Come on. Also, shout out to Handmade by Miles. It's a new candle that he is making. He started a candle business. It's very, very nice. Check it out.
All right, let's jump down to the cornerbacks, and then we'll work to the teams, and then we'll call it a night. So let's just knock these out real quick. So cornerbacks, Jalen Ramsey 96, obviously makes sense. Stephon Gilmore.
I would have had him 99, honestly.
Ooh, 99.
I would have. No doubt in my mind. Jalen Ramsey 99.
Real quick, Big Mig chimes in. Kuechly should have been 99. We both agree. Both guys carried their teams last year. Neither defense was as good as prior season. Yep. I mean, you're right on par with us, Big Mig. So what was it? Stephen Gilmore 94. So this is where Tyler really gets upset. Richard Sherman 93.
What a joke, Madden. What a joke.
Yeah.
What did Richard Sherman pay these guys to keep that rating? He said, "Listen, I got 50 G's on it to keep me in the 90s. Just that's all I gotta say." And you talk to that little nerdy ass player scout, player rating dude.
God. Finishing out the list, you have Patrick Pearson 92, Byron Jones 91, Chris Harris 90. Kyle Fuller, 89. Casey Hayward, 89. Darius Slay, 89. A.J. Boye, 88.
They did those two wrong. Darius Slay and A.J. Boye need to be above. They need to be above Byron Jones.
Oh, wow.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them need to be up that high.
Desmond Tufant, 88. And then Denzel Ward added an 88 as well. Yeah, Boye should be in the 90s, man. This guy is so good. He's such a cover corner. Like, he can man up on you, and he can drop and cover. Like, he's so good. Like, his zone coverage is some of the best. Dude, he literally, I watched him. I was at one of the games last season, I think. He was, like, probably, like, 10 yards off the guy. And the guy, I think, was doing like a little 5-yard slant or something, and just the speed he came from the 10 yards up to the guy, and he like knocked the ball loose. I can't remember who he was covering, man, but it was such.
Yeah,
he's really
he can close. He can close the gap for sure.
All right, safeties real quick. Earl Thomas, 95. Harrison Smith, 94. Malcolm Jenkins, 92. Eddie Jackson, 91. Jamal Adams, 90. Kevin Byard, 89. Devin McCourt.
Kevin Byard should be the number 1 safety in this game.
Devin McCourty, 89. Neil, 88. Amos.
Neil should be higher. If they're going to have Deion Lee or whatever, Deion Jones be high for the Falcons, they should have Neil be high. They both. I think Neil's more to that defense than Deion Jones is.
Yeah, and then Tyrann Mathieu is 87, who I think that's pretty low for him.
Pretty low. Also, Derwin James. Bullshit. I think he had an all. I know he had a Pro Bowl year, but he might have had an All-Pro season. He should be high. He should be 90s.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So, anyways,
that's a ripoff.
Rough stuff. So, let's just real quick run over to the team section real quick. So, overall for teams, you have no teams in the 90s. None. No team is in the 90s. How do you feel about that, Tyler?
Why not? I mean, why would you not put a team in the 90s? I don't understand.
Your closest team is the Eagles. And it's weird because neither their defense or offensive rating is an 89. How does that work?
That's crazy. And so how did they? Well, first of all, I don't understand how they don't. I still don't understand why would you make it up? Why would you make the game out of 100 rating and not even come close to like any team being close enough to
within 10 of 100? Like the Eagles are the closest at 89. There's no other 89 team, by the way. There's no other 88 team, by the way. There's one 88 team, one 89 team. It's incredible. The Cowboys are going to be second at 88. What?
The Cowboys?
Incredible. The Saints are at 87. Get this. Their offensive rating is a 91 and their defensive rating is an 84. I'm not done. Go back up to the Eagles. Sorry, I'm sorry. No, I was wrong. The Saints are an 82 and an 82 offense, 82 defense, 92 offense. Go back up to the Eagles. The Eagles are at 87 offense, 84 defense, and they're at 89. The Saints are an 87. What is that?
So that's questionable. That's questionable to me too, because the I would say the Eagles' defense is better than the Eagles' offense.
This is incredible, man. Get this: the Patriots, their offense is an 81, their defense is at an 84. Let me go back to the Eagles real quick. Their defense is an 84, their offense is an 87. How are the Patriots below the Eagles? Who's their mathematician over at EA? What is happening? It's not over, dude.
I bet I can do it.
It's not over, dude. The Packers are an 89 offense and 84 defense. That's literally 2 points higher than the Eagles, and they're in at 87, and the Eagles are in 89. What the Someone missed elementary school. This is incredible, dude. Let's go down just a little bit. The Rams are at an 8. Their overall rating's an 85. Keeping going down. The best quarterback... no, not the best quarterback. Yeah, the best quarterback in the game, Patrick Mahomes. His team, his offense is an 88. His defense, 78. Brings his team to an 84. How do you feel about that defense? Because I think the Chiefs' defense is better than 78. Honestly, let's be honest here.
No, dude.
No, you don't agree with me?
I mean, who do they have as a linebacker there?
I don't know. All right.
They have Chris Jones on defensive line. I think they got rid of most of their secondary. Their secondary is kind of floating out there. So I'd probably put them at 78. Honestly.
All right. So because we're both from Jacksonville, we got to do this one last because this is probably one of the most upsetting things of all time. The Jaguars, their defense in 82. How? I don't know. You have two 90 players, two 90 defensive players, and then one, 80. No, well, you have three 80 players.
Yeah, Bouye, Kelvin, and Miles Jack.
And also Ngakwe. He's in the 80s, right?
Exactly. So, four 80s players.
Four 80s players, and then two...
Plus Darius, Marcel Darius is an 80.
There you go. There's another 80. How are they an 82 defense? How does that even make sense?
Yeah.
And then their offense is a pathetic 71. So
71?
71, yeah.
Damn, dude.
Brings their total to a 79.
Damn, it's going to be hard playing with them.
They are tied for second to last.
Oh.
The only other team that's lower than them is the Dolphins at 69 on offense. The Bills are tied with the Jaguars on offense. And that's it.
Jeez.
So they are tied for second last. Second to
last. Man.
So that's a rough day. But anyways,
we gotta get out of here before I crack.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for staying around. If you stayed around, you guys are amazing. Make sure you tune in next week when 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, same time, and make sure you guys check it 9 o'clock. Make sure you guys check us out. That's T-Dubs over there.
Yo, check me out on Turf, www.theturfsport.com. Right there, weekly. Check me out. I'm always there. Other than that, find me here on 60 Minutes Suspension with Amp on Tuesdays, 9 p.m.
9 p.m. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.